at a very interesting country within the region, which is Tanzania. I always prefer calling it Tanganyika. That's where the world begins. We are at the place of origins, where not only the African nations, some of us who are from Zimbabwe, we claim our history to be within the Great Rift Valley. And as such, we have come back home, back to the wings of Mount Kilimanjaro. And not only is Tanzania a place of birth in terms of Tanganyika, but Tanganyika or Tanzania also is the home of birth for many of the political systems, political parties within the Southern Hemisphere. You all know that without Tanzania, there will be no South Africa. Without Tanzania, there will be no Zambia. Without Tanzania, there will be no Namibia. Without Tanzania, there will be no Zimbabwe. Without Tanzania, there's no Mozambique. Uganda, Kenya, the entire southern region. Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, his impact was not only felt by us in the south, but his impact stretched far north and northwest. As one of his best friends was Kwame Nkrumah. And in the head of Mwalimu Kambarage Julius Nyerere, we see the inception of the African dream of a united Africa. I was here last year in Butiama to commemorate his funeral and his death, his work that he has done. It's a tribute. My coming here is a tribute to one of the stalwarts. On my journey around Africa, I've been to Nelson Mandela's memorial. I've been to Samora Machel's memorial. I've been to Semu Nuyoma's memorial. I've been to Sankara's memorial in Burkina Faso. I have been to Kwame Nkrumah. And now I'm here to celebrate Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. The problems of Africa are the problems of Tanzania. Politically, we suffer together. Economically, we suffer together. Regionally, we suffer together. International monetary organizations and structural financial adjustment systems that the World Bank and the IMF are planning, we are part of it together. The absence of our names on the World Councils, NATO councils, and security councils, we are together. At the United Nations, we are together. So in as much as people think that we're in different countries, we are actually in one country, and the country is called Africa. But we're in various provinces. And I'm here to announce that Tanzania is a province. The country is Africa. Zimbabwe is a province. The country is Africa. The one Africa dream that Mwalimu Kambarage propagated. We as the young people, the young Pan-Africanists, we have plugged into that vision with a full understanding of what the Western world, the Eastern world is doing to Africa. And as long as we work in isolation, away from each other, abuse will continue to happen. We have inherited systems of colonization that are not making work easy for Africans. Divided, we fall. United, we stand. We want the fellow Tanzanians, since you started this thing through Mwalimu, that don't stop. Continue. We need young people in Tanzania who can replug into the vision of our leaders and become ambassadors of unity and of peace across the continent. I also came here to find out for myself, after the elections that happened, as to what has been the aftermath. Not only that, what was the cause? Not only that, if the young people should be given and take the government as they desire to, are they able to? Do you have capacity to run this thing? Or it is just frustration that is coming out of an electoral system which does not speak to the understanding of the future that we want? I want to find out from you as young people, what kind of a future are you looking for? And what are you doing to make sure that that future comes out from wherever it is? But I can sit here as an old man and tell you, as long as you think that you will change leaders without changing the quality of your thinking and transforming the system, we'll be changing hyenas with foxes, and the sheep will always be disappearing. The problem is bigger than your leaders. The problem is the inherited colonial system that the entire African continent has inherited from whoever for whoever's benefit. China, Singapore, Vietnam, Dubai, England, Russia, North Korea. They are not democratic, but they belong to the top 15 most successful countries in the world. What makes Africans think that the only way we are going to succeed in this life is through a democratic system? Africa was built in the past without this thing we call democracy. So let's stop fantasizing the tools of oppression, thinking that the same tools would liberate us. I'm here to challenge the entire country of Tanzania. Go back to the drawing board and find out, is the problem the cobwebs or the problem is the spider? And the spider is the system. And until we understand that we are changing drivers, but the bus is going in the same direction that East must go, 65 years later, we must start reasoning like adults. From Kwame Nkrumah, from Egypt, some of the first countries that were liberated in Africa, their problems are the same. We've seen leaders come and go, but our misery and our tears are not stopping. When will we stop as Africans to think, this is not working? I have nothing wrong with your leadership, nothing wrong with the leaders in Africa, but I have a problem when a leader in Africa thinks that they are a leader of a country, when in fact their countries were made by the Berlin Conference, and you were not there. By making Berlin Conference legitimate, that's where you find countries coming up and say, I'm Tanzanian, I'm Zambian, I'm Malawian. According to who? When Tanzania and Kenya, they share 7 tribes. 7. Wanyankole, Uganda, what, Watutsi, what, they're all over here. How do you draw a line in my kitchen and say you are in this country, you are in this country? Who drew that line? And this party country politics, which is a genius plan of the colonial West, has become our problem today. When I see a Tanzanian problem, I say that's not my problem. I'm from Zambia. I see Zambian problem, it's not my problem. I'm in Zambia. Now look at it carefully. South Africa is lost. It's at 40% now. Zambia's ruling party is now out of power. Botswana's ruling party is now out of power. Zimbabwe, we are holding on to the horses, because if we drop it, we will also lose it. And here you are in Tanzania. When you see Zambia, Malawi, and South Africa going in trouble, you say, no, we are okay. Tanzania, we're a peaceful country. Now, a few days ago, you know, there's nothing peaceful. The problem is the same. We're here to begin this conversation that says, African young people, don't just agonize. Organize. This government is your government. Start thinking, what can you do to transform, rejuvenate, revolutionize, amend, correct the system so that it works in your favor? In conclusion, never leave old people to discuss the future for you. They will not be there. You didn't hear me. Here are the old people sitting in parliament planning the future. The future. They are not going to be there. You will be there. Therefore, young people cannot exclude themselves from the political conversation, because the discussions that are being done in the political space will affect you directly, will affect your children, will affect your investments. So if you step away from the political system, which is able to transform your life, and you burn it from outside, what do you remain with? A proverb in Africa says, a child who burns their father's house, their inheritance is ashes. Tanzania is yours. Africa is ours. We will preserve it. And education is one form of fortification. I thank you.